evening, you're watching The Buck Stops Here and I'm Barkha Dutt. On the program today, we like to think of ourselves as an emerging superpower. But here's the irony, for the last 2 days, we have quite literally been without any power at all. That's right, for the second day in a row, India has faced a serious power crisis with its power grid in the north and the east tripping. 2 blackouts in 2 days. As 3 different grids collapse, more than half of the country, that's 19 states and 62 crore people have been without power, making it the world's largest blackout. Almost every service was hit, from trains to hospitals to metro services, of course, many of which went on the blink. But this doesn't stop politics or the wheels of power from shifting, does it? It was the ultimate irony that in the middle of this power crisis, the power minister got a promotion. He was elevated to Home Minister. Sushil Kumar Shinde is India's new Home Minister as P. Chidambaram moves to his old job, moves to an office across the street, an office left vacant by Pranab Mukherjee. Mr. Chidambaram is now Finance Minister, leading many to ask whether Chidambaram can light up a gloomy and rather dark financial scene. As we've been saying, it's been dark in more ways than one. Power outages on the one side and the wheels of power grinding along as ever. So, power outages do not stop power politics. Sunil Prabhu, my colleague, has the latest, the first to break the story many weeks ago that P. Chidambaram would be getting the finance portfolio. Sunil, many see in this a clear sort of messaging, and that messaging is that the Prime Minister, who himself held on to the portfolio, is now trying to make a push for economic reform. How are government sources describing this particular choice? Chidambaram, of course, is an old hand, but what message should we read into it?
Well, the message is that the economic reform process will carry on. He's extremely bullish about the fact that the GST or the direct tax code must go ahead. So we will be able to see the finance minister, who till yesterday was the home minister and just did that press conference this evening, will go ahead and carry on that economic reform process. The Prime Minister, as you said, Barkha, has immense faith in his capabilities in ensuring that the economy gets back to that growth trajectory and carries on with that reform process. And let's hope for the best, because as you rightly said today, it's been a day when this entire country has been without power. And of course, now we have a new power minister, we have a new home minister, as well as a new finance minister. Well,
a couple of ironies, Sunil, if we can dwell upon them briefly. The power minister getting a promotion in the middle of a power crisis, no full-time power minister at all. Veerappa Moily getting additional charge of power. Yes, that's an interim decision, but the messaging in terms of symbolism isn't great, is it? Of course, they didn't anticipate the power outage, but Sushil Kumar Shinde, interesting choice, but it's not yet fully clear that he will be leader of the House, right?
Most likely, Barkha, it will be extremely difficult not to give Sushil Kumar Shinde, who used to be at one stage the vice presidential nominee of the Congress party in 2002. He's now come back after a stint as being a chief minister, a governor of a state and a cabinet minister. Now as home minister, as you rightly said, he's a sub-inspector who's risen to the level of a home minister. He's also from the Dalit, and quite clearly the focus will be on him being the leader of the House. What we have been told, his allies have been sounded, and they're quite a matter of fact about the fact that it is the Congress's prerogative that Sushil Kumar Shinde should rise to that level. And Mrs. Gandhi, as you are well aware, Sonia Gandhi really has immense capability and faith in Mr. Sushil Kumar Shinde, and that's why he is most likely to be announced as the leader of the House in the next few days.
Well, they're heading into a stormy parliament session and have made some contentious choices. Many would say not shaking up the cabinet enough, as everybody waits for Rahul Gandhi to make his next move. Sunil Prabhu, my colleague, bringing us the latest on that cabinet reshuffle, giving India a new finance minister on a day when even government sources were forced to admit that inflation levels are simply unacceptable. Moving on now to the other big political headache for the government. And that headache, that challenge, that in a sense thorn on the government side is called Anna Hazare. But today there have been many debates on the Lokpal bill. We're stepping back and looking at something a little different. Last year this time, Anna Hazare was the toast of the season. There wasn't a television screen on which you did not see him, did not hear his team members. They had become almost household names across the country. This year, the Anna agitation did not get the same focus from the media. It made Team Anna extremely angry, finally culminating in some of its members virtually questioning the integrity of media houses from the stage at Jantar Mantar, and many rowdy supporters literally physically manhandling several journalists on location. When broadcast editors protested, Anna Hazare today apologized and said if anybody did this again, he would call off his fast. But are Anna and his team members talking in the same voice? Has the media really performed its role? Has the media gone beyond scrutinizing the potent symbolism of Anna's movement to actually scrutinizing the ideas and the thoughts that it stands for? And has the relationship between Anna Hazare and the media gone from being one of compatriots to one of antagonists? Kashish and Nitranjan Srivastav have the story.
Many would say the fight against corruption began last year. Ramleela ground became its epicenter. Team Anna became the mascots with this man. Joining him were students, professionals, the unemployed, business tycoons, even Bollywood stars. The stage was set for one of the biggest mass movements that the electronic media has witnessed in its time. Anna was the new Gandhi, and while some explained this non-stop coverage as a reflection of mass sentiment, others unabashedly became dedicated to the cause.
Why to blame different channels or the news channels? Even the parliament has to be extended twice, and unprecedented way the parliament has also appealed to the Anna Hazare, which has never happened earlier. So the situation was such, and I think the news channels did a great job by covering this.
In a widely criticized move to kill the movement before it began, the government charged Anna Hazare as a law and order threat and put him behind bars. By the time he was released, the media was tracking his every move. Any information the media got on what he ate, where he slept, every move he made, every word he spoke became exclusives to be fought over. In the midst of a nation cloaked in the Anna frenzy, any attempt by the media to question was criticized as towing the government line.
I think the media wasn't objective last year. We had what I would call the embedded media, and that is the case even today to some extent. Any critical voices, anything said by that group, not reported by the media, is considered to be a deliberate act of sabotage.
So when Anna decided to sit on a fast yet again a few months later, the media was prepared for yet another blitzkrieg. But was it because the location had changed to Mumbai, or was it the first signs of Anna fatigue? Whatever the reason, the result, the turnout had dropped from a few lakhs in Delhi in August to just a few thousand in December in Mumbai. Team Anna is back at doing what they know best, sitting on an anshan.
इस बार तो समाधान लेके उठेंगे या तो समाधान मिलेगा या यहाँ से हमारी अर्थी उठेगी.
Despite this call of do or die for the nation, the numbers were weak. Large parts of the crowd brought in from villages in neighboring states. The government stayed silent and refused to engage despite strong statements from the stage. This collective frustration fast turning into hooliganism. No attempt from Team Anna to either end this vandalism or distance themselves from it. The media's day-long presence this time not translating into airtime. But perhaps no better expression of frustration of a movement losing steam than the oldest member of Team Anna, a former law minister inciting the crowds to boycott the media because he thought sections of it were sold out.
मीडिया वाले पीछे जान, नहीं तो जनता का गुस्सा उनके ऊपर गिर सकता है। जो ऐसी झूठी न्यूज चलाता है, उसकी टीआरपी 0 आ जाएगी, कोई नहीं देखेगा उसको।
The abuse so far meant for the government, now fast trickling against the media.
Any kind of violence is not acceptable. Media is here to report, media is here to inform people, and media is informing. If anybody is unhappy, it is their problem.
Anna Hazare apologized for all acts of violence.
मैं फिर से एक बार आपको करता हूँ और ऐसे कोई किसी ने मीडिया के साथ शरारत की हो, बुरे लफ्ज़ से बोले हो, तो मैं उनके तरफ से मैं आप सबकी माफी मांगता हुए और मैं इकट्ठा करके आगे चले जाती हूँ।
But perhaps the arrogance of the rest of the team was apparent when they refused to retract the statement.
इन सारे मीडिया के मालिकों को अब ये तय करना पड़ेगा कि वो देश के साथ हैं।
With a few days left to go, the big question on many people's minds is whether the man who's the face of this movement, Anna Hazare, is still calling the shots or whether this is now a divided house. For us in the media who've covered this movement from the first day through all its ups and downs, all day, every day, is it, after this recent attack, time for us to take a step back, rethink our reportage on a movement that may have started off well, but may well now be crumbling under its own frustration? In New Delhi with Nitranjan Srivastav and Tanima Biswas, Kashish for NDTV.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.